hashtag save the 205 was trending, and it has been done. That's what we're talking about. Quick turn, back to work. Sorry, I didn't see you there. And I'll show you a little email I got from somebody which I'm quite excited about. So here we go, here's a congestion. Christy, mate, cheers. Cheers, thank you. Sorted. Yes, my friends, welcome back. It's Arnold. Thanks for coming again for another day in the scrapyard. Today I'm going to start off a little bit differently. What I'm going to ask you to do is tell me what this machine right here is. It's a 3-stage machine. It's got a claw on one side, it's got a cutter in the middle, and it's got a lift on the end. Go in the comments now and tell me what you think it is, and then we'll come back later and I'll explain what the machine does and how much it costs, because it is up for sale. Where I'm standing is the metal shed. So this is where we sort our non-ferrous metals, such as your coppers, your brass, your aluminiums, stuff like that. So the iron gets sorted outside, and then the non-ferrous metals get sorted in here, as they're a bit more valuable and they have to be sorted through a fine tooth comb to make sure you get the most bang for your buck. We'll go and have a look around here a little bit later, but the boys are actually in the middle of something, so we'll let them crack on, finish their job, and then I'll come in here and give you a little tour around. There's a couple of other machines in here which I'll show you, which you might be interested in. And yeah, we'll have a little look around. On a Friday, we process our catalytic converters and we get them out so we can get paid for them on a Friday. This week, we've actually got 300, so we've had a good week on that front, and we've had a lot of cars processed, so you can imagine 300 catalytic converters translates to around 300 cars, give or take a few, because we do actually give a premium for catalytic converters. So if you've got any you want to sell, let us know and we'll give you the best price in Kent. So yes, have a look behind me, you can see that the yard is absolutely rammed. We've got plenty of cars to process down the bottom. I haven't been able to buy cars at the minute because we're just trying to get through the backlog. I've got cars in that yard, I've got cars around the backyard, so we've got such a big deficit we're trying to work through and get up to scratch so that then I can buy again. Forklift driver just coming in now with a nice Ford Galaxy. Car has a resale value in the export market, so you won't see that one scrapped out the front here. It's so windy and my ears are freezing. I'm not a gangster, don't like putting my hood up normally, but needs must, as they say. But we'll jump down there in a minute and I'll show you the pickup, because the picker's up and running. That's back to work, which is fantastic, so we can maximise the profiting from the cars. And yeah, busy yard's a happy yard, as I like to say. Quickly pop round here and I'll show you the battery shed. This is where we store all of the batteries that we remove from the cars, and the batteries that we also buy in the non-ferrous shed, as we do give a premium for car batteries. I think there's about 8 boxes behind me, as we had a lorry go, I think it was yesterday or the day before. We try and get about 25 to 30 boxes before we order a lorry, because in a box, rule of thumb, is about 750 kilos to a tonne, and a load of batteries is anywhere from 20 tonne to 25 tonne. So when we're in that sort of region, we know that it's time to sell them. When we store the batteries, we have to put them in impermeable boxes so that no battery acid gets leaked anywhere. And when we stack the batteries, you have to stack them on top of each other like nice pretty little Lego bricks to make sure that nobody gets hurt from any battery acid that gets leaked anywhere. As handling batteries can be a very dangerous job if it's not done correctly. But as I say, everything in this yard is done correctly. There's someone building a house over there. As we say, everything in this yard is done correctly, and all health and safety laws are abided by, to make sure that every member of staff in this yard is looked after. Yeah, so I'm going to hop back in the office now and show you a little email I got from somebody which I'm quite excited about. The 205 actually going today, so some of you will be very happy to hear that hashtag save the 205 was trending, and it has been done. We've got Ricky from Kent Smart Repairs. He actually paints all of my cars, as I said in the last video, and if you haven't watched that, go and watch that where I explain what happened to the RA. He's coming to pick it up, he's taking it back, and he's going to let me come down and film the whole restoration process in his yard, which is going to be fantastic. So I can keep you guys up to date with the repair and process, and we can see what the car looks like at the end. Because I'm quite excited to see what it looks like, because I'll get some videos in a minute of the before, and then we'll do an after comparison. It's going to be a massive, massive transformation. So I'm excited to see how that turns out, and we'll catch up with him when he arrives a little bit later on. Every time I walk past a dartboard, I have to throw some darts, but you've got to make sure you're abiding by the health and safety measures first. So everybody needs to wear a hard hat when you're throwing darts. It's disappointing. I normally throw 180 every time, so I don't know what's going on. 3 more. That's what we're talking about. Quick time, back to work. So I've just jumped up in the office and I'd like to tell you guys a little bit of news I had. So I got an email from Murray Clark, who is the director of Powerhand VRS, who actually supply the other picker for our machine, the one that we don't have. He sent me through some prices and sent me through some other information, so that's all good. He's actually invited me up to the factory to have a look at the manufacturing process and give me a little tour of their yard and what they do up there. So I'm really excited to go and do that after COVID. So I've actually got somewhere to stay, because at the minute I don't think you can even get a hotel up there. So that's good. And then he's also sending me down a safety hat from a company called Protos. And apparently he's told me they are the Gucci of safety helmets. And you know me, I love my designer clobber. So I'll be wearing that around the yard, looking pretty fresh walking around. I'll have loads of people jealous of my safety hat. And hopefully we can get into a good partnership with them and get some supplied for the yard. Because apparently they're not only good looking, but they're also the most comfortable safety helmet and the safest safety helmet. Because when it comes to safety helmets, it's not about how good they look, it's about how well they protect your head. And if they look good, that's just a bonus. So when I get that down, I'll have a little wear, see how it goes. Probably see me wearing that in the next video. But yeah, so I've got a couple more emails to answer, so I'll get on with them in a second. But just before I go quickly, I'd like to say a massive, massive thank you for the reception my last video got, where I explained the situation with the Audi R8. I didn't expect it to go as well as it did, and the support was great from you guys, so thank you for that. And yeah, let's continue to grow this channel. I love giving you guys an insight into my life, into the scrap side of things, into the cars, and into everything else. So let's grow this community, let's grow it all together, and yeah, thanks again guys. So. Oh, my knee, I just banged my knee when I turned there. I'm trying to do it smooth, but that obviously didn't work. Ouch. Sorry I didn't see you there. This is where I come to do all my thinking. Think of my good ideas here. Stand in the sunlight, just really helps my mind flow, you know, with the ideas. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to get back to it. Ricky from Kent Smart Repairs has just arrived to pick up the 205. We'll go over there now and get some before shots so we have a reference knowing when the restoration starts. So it's not snowing, that is just dust. I'm going to get a load on there with a forklift in a minute after the boys are back from their break. But yeah, let's go over and get some before shots of it. So yeah, that is the 205. I've actually been nice enough to have the Hoover inside as well, so I hope he puts that to good use. We're going to get it loaded on the lorry now. And hopefully we don't damage it. Ooh. So the 205 is now loaded up, ready to go, and I'll keep you guys updated with the progress as we're going with the repair. So hopefully Ricky at Kent Smart Repairs can get it looking good and get it looking decent in the near future. He also told me he's going to put a dimmer kit on it, which is going to look proper naughty as well, so we'll see how that gets on. just trying to sift through my DMs and see which detailing valeter companies messaged me, but please send me another message, because look at the state of that. That is so dirty, and it needs a good valet and clean inside and out. I need the back cleaned out. It's a bit of a job, so if you think you can do it, let me know, and I'll get you on the channel next week. And yeah, I've got a couple of other cars I need sorting, so maybe you can organise a day where you can clean all of my cars, because there's a lot to clean. Look at that, it looks like it's been driving through the desert. Just grabbed some grub, got some peanut butter on toast and a nice coffee. As you can see, this tanker behind me is a lorry we've actually bought off one of our clients. It's now being collected and delivered to somewhere else, as somebody has actually purchased it off of us. So as I say, we don't just do cars, we do motorbikes, we do lorries, we do any type of HGVs, plants, we do the... Obviously, I just spoke to you about that lorry around the corner that we're trying to get out. And the problem is that our fitters aren't in the yard at the minute, they're out somewhere. And we haven't got anybody that can split the lorry, and we can't get the lorry around the estate because there is a container that's been put on the floor around the other side of the estate. So, jumped in my truck, and we're going to go around there and try and get everybody to move their cars so that he can get the lorry on the back of his trailer and drive it around the estate and turn it around, because obviously it's quite tight around here, and having a big recovery truck like that with a lorry on the back is a very, very big load. So we're just going down here now to have a look, and then as my car slides right out, and yeah, and I'll show you what it's like when we get down here. So here we go, here's the congestion. So we've got that porter cabin there, we've got all of these machines, so there is nowhere for him to turn around down here. Park up here and we'll jump out and have a look. It's actually good news, we've got down here and they're actually moving the porter cabin now, or the container, what you call it. So give it 10 minutes and they should have it cleared, and I'll drive back around and get the driver, and he can come around here and turn around. He's going to do a lap round the roundabout and go back out there. So that is sorted. They're just loading that on now, so I'll give it about 15 minutes and it should be done. I can't sit around watching them because I'm wasting my time, so get around there, tell the lorry driver that they're nearly ready and he can pop round when he's done, and then that problem has been sorted. Oh, happy days. Oh, and there goes the phone. Alright, Matt. Alright, mate, I reckon they'll be done in about 10 minutes. Aye? 10 minutes and they'll be done round there.
Yeah, alright.
Christy, mate, cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
Sorted. Right, we've got down here at the right time because he's just started on a new car, so we can see the whole process. Basically how it goes, he pulls the roof out, pulls the seats out, then he pulls all the aluminium out, then he goes to the wiring looms out the sides and underneath the car, then he pulls the wiring looms out from the front, and then finally puts the seats and the roof back in the car, for then it to get bailed. So we'll go down and look. It is so chilly right now, I am freezing. I thought I'd come back down this side of the yard to finish off explaining what was going on down there because it's so loud you can't hear me. I have ordered a mic as well, and that'll be there next week, so I can stand down there and talk as much as I like and you're going to be able to hear me. But yeah, so what he does first is obviously he pulls the roof apart, opens up the car so he can see in there and has a bigger workspace so he knows what he's looking at. We'll then pull the dash out like you saw, go for the wiring loops. Sometimes he might go for the aluminium rads first and put them into the bin before, like what you see him do. Then he'll pull the bumper bar off and put that into a separate bin. then he'll go for the other rad and do that, and then the wiring loom after. So it's very dependent on what he chooses to do first and which type of car he gets, because some cars have wiring in some places and some have wiring in other places, so you just got to weigh it up. And when you're working out there, you get a general idea of what car's what. So that was a one whole process. I'm going to try and do a full video on that and get in there myself and just explain it and talk you through as I'm doing it. But yeah, we're going to jump in the metal shed now and I'll show you what that machine actually does. Hopefully one of you got it right. I've got some faith in you guys. So let's put round there. Just before we get inside, I thought I'd show you outside. We've got this lovely gate here. And what this was for is when we used to have people coming down, dropping off their metal themselves in their own transit vans or their own vans, whatever they had. What we had is some people decided they wanted to take stuff out of our bins and then try and weigh it in again. So we decided to put a gate in here so that nobody can get their grubby little hands on our metal and try and get paid for it twice. Because you know what people are like, try and pulling tricks on you all the time. So we've got 2 iron alley bins behind me. We've got some wiring looms there as well. So then that brings me back to this machine behind me. So this machine is actually an electric motor and starter motor recycling machine. So how it works is you get the electric motor like that, you can then cut the casing off with this cutter here like that, and then you slide the motor onto there, and these claws come out like that and pull the copper out from the middle. So it's built to process all electric motors. You can literally just slide one on, do it, and you can process them quite fast. But unfortunately, we didn't really use the machine. We didn't have the time, and we didn't really have the staff to use it. So it's not got much of a use for us at the minute, other than a shelf, as it was caked in buckets and stuff earlier. So we've cleaned that off, ready for sale. I've got somebody coming down Monday to have a look at it, so hopefully it goes. But if not, it is up for sale. So if you're interested, drop me a message on Instagram, as it's a great piece of machinery. We just haven't really got the use for it at the moment. Right, so in the first bin here, we've got brass. This takes a little bit longer to build up, as we don't really buy a lot of brass at the moment. And then we've got 2 bins of copper. We've got dirty copper and clean copper. This is copper piping, and any type of copper that hasn't got any paint or anything on it. It's just pure copper. And then this side, as you can see, it's all the copper that's got paint on it and stuff like that. As when you grade them, you get slightly better money for the copper without the paint on. The dirty copper is a bit cheaper, so there's a lot of copper, so much copper. But yeah. And then basically we've got 2 scales out the back where we weigh stuff, we used to weigh stuff in. We still use them to weigh, but obviously we don't work as we used to. We don't take people in anymore. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame really that this shed's not maximised, but it's still busy. We still get some non-ferrous out of the stores that we get delivered, so it stays busy. But yeah, it's not the same as it used to be. We are looking for some yard staff. We need somebody who is capable of removing parts from cars and has a good understanding of cars in general. If you wish to apply, please do not DM me or do not comment under this YouTube video. Give us a call, Ace Car Breakers. I'll put the link in the description, and then let us know on the phone if you'd like to come in for an interview. Hopefully we can sort out some people to come in for an interview, and I'd like to start some of you on a job very soon, as we need some more staff. So if you are interested, do what I say, let me know, and we can get going straight away. Guys, that wraps up today's A Day in the Scrapyard video. Hope you enjoyed it. A little bit more of an insight into the yard. I'll keep it coming, keep it enjoyable. I'm actually going off to Yanamais this afternoon to collect the McLaren, so there'll be a separate video on that, which I'm going to release first. So if you haven't watched that after you watch this, go and watch it now. And if you have watched that already, well then thanks for watching. I'm Henry Arnold, and I'll see you guys next time.